Here's what I think happened. I think Blake Lively legitimately did not believe. I think when she had all that bad press happening,
Blake Lively thought she had everything under control. She planned everything carefully, created the perfect story, and made sure the media was on her side. But then, Candace Owens stepped in with strong proof that exposed Lively's plan before it could even begin. Now, everything is falling apart, and even Deadpool 4 is caught in the mess. Owens revealed how Lively worked behind the scenes to control the story. The timing, the media leaks, and the carefully placed accusations were all part of a plan. And when things did not go the way she wanted, Lively tried to stop people from speaking out. But now, the truth is out, and it is not just her reputation that is in danger. Hollywood is watching closely, and with Deadpool 4 involved, this story is turning into something much bigger than anyone expected. So how did Candace Owens bring out the truth? A person who worked on the set of It Ends With Us came forward with shocking details. They said that the real person behind all of this is not Blake Lively or Justin Baldoni. It is Ryan Reynolds. They claimed that Reynolds was the one who started the trouble. According to this person, Reynolds went into Lively's trailer, and they had a loud argument. Production assistants outside could hear the whole thing. Nobody knows exactly what they were fighting about, but it is possible that Reynolds saw something in the script or the daily footage that upset him. Whatever it was, after that day, he started getting very involved. He stayed on set, watching over Lively like a chaperone. Candace Owens then publicly accused Blake Lively of using the media to control the story about her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. She said that Lively had carefully planned everything so that when her accusations became public, the media would already be on her side. Owens claimed this was not just about Lively feeling uncomfortable on set. She said it was a smart move to destroy Baldoni's career and make herself look like the victim. To support her claims, Owens pointed to information from the New York Times, which showed that the article about Lively's accusations had been written before she even filed her lawsuit. This meant her team had been working with journalists in secret to prepare the story in advance. Owens said this is a common Hollywood trick, using the media to make sure people believe one side of the story before the other person can even respond. But as she kept investigating, she realized there was even more to this story than she first thought. Ryan Reynolds had a much bigger role in this controversy than people first thought. A person who worked on the set of It Ends With Us said that Reynolds made a surprise visit, looked at the footage, and became very angry about something in the script. After that, Blake Lively's behavior toward Justin Baldoni changed, and soon after, she filed the lawsuit. Candace Owens questioned why Reynolds' sudden involvement had such a big effect. She suggested that his reaction was not really about Lively feeling uncomfortable, but about his own insecurities. Owens also claimed that Reynolds had a history of being jealous and controlling in his relationships. She talked about an old interview with Scarlett Johansson, who was once married to Reynolds. In that interview, Johansson hinted that jealousy was one of the reasons they got divorced. Owens believed this showed a pattern. Reynolds always reacted strongly when his wife worked with other male actors. She suggested that maybe his presence on set pushed Lively to take legal action against Baldoni. The controversy became even bigger when Owens revealed that Reynolds may have pressured WME Talent Agency to remove Baldoni from their list of clients. If this was true, then it meant this was not just about Lively feeling unsafe or uncomfortable. It was something bigger, a plan to completely ruin Baldoni's career. Owens said that Lively and Reynolds may have worked together, using their power and connections in Hollywood to make sure Baldoni could not continue his career. But then, when Baldoni's legal team started fighting back, Lively suddenly asked the court for a gag order. This would stop people from talking about the case in public. Owens pointed out how unfair this was. Lively had no problem talking to the media first. She went to big news outlets like the New York Times to share her accusations. But as soon as Baldoni's team started sharing their own evidence, she wanted to stop them from speaking. The court rejected her request, making it clear that she could not control the story once the other side started talking. As more details came out, it was clear that this was no longer just about Baldoni. Owens said the scandal was now affecting Deadpool 4 because of Reynolds' involvement. Reynolds has always had the image of being one of Hollywood's most friendly and likable actors. But now, people were questioning him. Fans started wondering if he had used Deadpool 4 to make fun of Baldoni or to get back at him in some way. The more Owens investigated, the more this case seemed to be about much more than what people first thought. This was not just a small problem anymore. It was turning into a big power struggle in Hollywood. Famous stars like Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds seemed to have the power to control public opinion, influence legal cases, and even destroy someone's career. But their plan was starting to fall apart. As Candace Owens kept finding more proof, more people began to question Lively and Reynolds. Owens did not just make claims, she showed real evidence that changed the way people saw Lively's lawsuit. The biggest discovery came when she looked at the New York Times article about the case. She found proof that Lively's accusations were planned in advance. The data showed that her team had spoken to the media before the lawsuit was even filed. At first, Owens thought she had finished talking about the Justin Baldoni case. But then, new details came out, and she had to come back. She explained how she had looked at the New York Times metadata and found proof that Lively's accusations were carefully planned. She also pointed out that someone had posted about it online before the lawsuit was even made public. The very next day after Owens talked about this, Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, updated their lawsuit. He added the New York Times metadata as evidence. This proved that Lively's team had been working with journalists days before she officially filed the lawsuit. Owens said this was not just a natural reaction to a problem. It was a planned media attack. She believed Lively's team wanted to make sure the public saw her as the victim before Baldoni even had a chance to speak. Owens also found out that Lively had close ties with powerful journalists who worked on the #MeToo movement, like Ronan Farrow and Megan Twohey. She claimed that Lively even used her friendship with Taylor Swift to get more influence over the media. According to Owens, this helped Lively create a story that made Baldoni look like the villain. A long article about Lively's accusations was published on December 21st, right before the lawsuit became public. Owens said this was not a coincidence. She claimed it was part of a plan to ruin Baldoni's reputation in a way that could not be fixed. In response, Baldoni's legal team updated their lawsuit. They now had evidence that Lively had planned her media strategy before taking legal action. His lawyer, Brian Friedman, said this case was not just about false accusations. It was something much bigger. He called it civil extortion.
Who wrote to me said that they worked on the set of It Ends With Us, okay? And that the villain in this entire story is not...
Baldoni's legal team said this case was not just about false accusations. They claimed that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds had used their Hollywood connections to control the story and push Baldoni out of the industry. Candace Owens also pointed out problems in Lively's claims, and one of the strongest pieces of evidence came from behind-the-scenes footage of It Ends With Us. Lively had said that Baldoni made her uncomfortable during a slow dance scene. She claimed that he whispered something inappropriate in her ear and dragged his lips down her neck. According to Lively, this was one of the reasons she decided to take legal action. But when Baldoni's legal team released the actual footage, it showed a very different story. In the video, Lively was laughing and joking. She even made a comment about her spray tan possibly rubbing off on Baldoni. Baldoni playfully responded, saying it smelled good. There was no sign that Lively was uncomfortable, no inappropriate behavior, and nothing that matched her story. At the same time, Ryan Reynolds was promoting his new movie, Deadpool and Wolverine. During an interview, someone mentioned Baldoni and asked Reynolds if he had a message for him. Reynolds jokingly said, "Come home, please come home. I miss you. The kids miss you. I do not know what is going on with this little journey of yours, but we hate you." He kept going, saying that he had been pretending to be Baldoni but could not do it anymore. The response was meant to be funny, but some people found it strange because of the controversy. It showed how Hollywood works, how powerful stars can control a story, and how they can shape the way people see a situation. Some thought it was just a harmless joke, while others believed it was a way to make fun of Baldoni and damage his reputation even more. As the case went on, more people started to ask what was really happening behind the scenes. Owens said this was not just about one lawsuit. It was about how the entertainment industry works, how famous people control the media, and how someone's career can be destroyed in an instant. In Hollywood, success is not just about talent. It is also about the choices you make and how you present yourself to the world. People think they know celebrities because they see them in movies or on social media, but the truth is very different. The media tells stories about them, and if a celebrity does not share personal details, the media simply makes things up. Candace Owens argued that this is exactly what happened with Blake Lively's lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. She said Lively took a simple, normal interaction and changed it to fit her story. Owens pointed to behind-the-scenes footage from It Ends With Us as proof. Lively had claimed Baldoni made her uncomfortable during a dance scene, but the footage showed her laughing and joking with him. There was no sign of discomfort, and nothing inappropriate happened. When this footage became public, people started questioning Lively's story. The backlash against her grew stronger, but the biggest surprise was how this controversy was now affecting Deadpool 4. Owens said that because Ryan Reynolds was involved in the lawsuit, the movie had now become a symbol of Hollywood's power struggles. Fans even started wondering if Reynolds had used Deadpool 4 to mock Baldoni, adding small jokes to the film to support his and Lively's side of the story. Owens also brought up an old interview with actor TJ Miller, who worked on Deadpool 2. Miller had said that Reynolds mocked him on set and treated him badly while staying in character. Owens used this as proof that Reynolds had a pattern of using his movies to take personal shots at people. As more details came out, it became clear that this was not just about Lively's lawsuit anymore. It was about the bigger picture, how famous people in Hollywood control the media, shape the public's opinion, and use their power to push others out of the industry. Now, Deadpool 4 was caught right in the middle of it all.
I did interview him a couple of weeks ago for the new Deadpool and Wolverine film, and I knew that I was going to be interviewing you, so I asked him if he had a message for
Candace Owens said that Ryan Reynolds had a habit of using his movie roles to take personal shots at people he had problems with in real life. She believed that Deadpool 4 might include hidden insults aimed at Justin Baldoni. This raised concerns about how personal fights were affecting Hollywood movies. As more details came out, it became harder for Reynolds and Blake Lively to protect their image. Owens said the truth was coming out, and this scandal could hurt them for a long time. It was not just their reputation at risk, but also Deadpool 4 and the way Hollywood handles these kinds of cases in the future. Many fans who once liked Reynolds and Lively said they could no longer see them the same way. Some felt that they were pretending everything was fine while trying to keep their powerful image in Hollywood. At the same time, Reynolds was facing bigger problems. Lively's lawsuit against Baldoni was now putting his career in danger, and it was also affecting Deadpool 4. Marvel Studios had not officially announced the movie yet, but there were strong rumors that discussions were happening. However, after this scandal started growing, talks about Deadpool 4 suddenly stopped. Some insiders even said the movie could now be in serious trouble. Things became even more complicated when reports came out that Lively wanted creative control over Deadpool 4, even though she was not officially part of the movie. This made people wonder how much control she had over Reynolds, and if their personal issues were now affecting his work. Now, fans and Hollywood insiders were asking if this scandal would not only hurt Reynolds and Lively's image, but also destroy the future of one of Marvel's most popular movies. Blake Lively wanted to have control over Deadpool 4, even though she was not part of the movie. She reportedly told Ryan Reynolds to push for more power over the film's editing and marketing. But Marvel and Disney did not like this, as they have strict rules about how their movies are made. Things got worse when Lively filed her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. At first, Reynolds seemed to support Baldoni, but after visiting the set of It Ends With Us, he suddenly changed sides and supported his wife instead. Reports said Reynolds even pressured a major talent agency to drop Baldoni. This showed that the fight was not just personal, it was a power move in Hollywood. Candace Owens suggested that Lively's growing demands and Reynolds' sudden change may have worried Disney and Marvel. They started to wonder if Reynolds was still the right person to lead their movies. Some people even claimed that Deadpool 4 included hidden jokes about Baldoni, making it seem like Reynolds was using the movie to mock him. As the controversy grew, Marvel and Disney began to rethink their plans. Reynolds had been one of their biggest stars, but the lawsuit, the accusations, and the public backlash were too big to ignore. If things got worse, Marvel might cancel the movie or replace Reynolds with a new actor. Lively and Reynolds likely thought they could control the story in the media, but the public turned against them. Instead of supporting Lively, many people started to question her real intentions. Social media was filled with criticism, with people calling her fake Lively and mocking Reynolds as crying Reynolds for how he handled the scandal. Lively's case became weaker when Baldoni's legal team shared text messages, videos, and other evidence that proved she was not telling the full truth. One of the biggest shocks came when Taylor Swift, who was a close friend of Lively, started to distance herself from the lawsuit. Lively had tried to use Swift's name to gain public sympathy, but as the case became worse, even Swift did not want to be involved. What started as a lawsuit had now become a huge Hollywood scandal. It was not only damaging Lively and Reynolds' reputations, but it was also putting Deadpool 4 at serious risk. Reports said that Taylor Swift wanted nothing to do with the lawsuit. Candace Owens pointed out that Blake Lively had tried to use Swift's name to gain public sympathy, but it had completely failed. Instead of making her look strong, it made her seem desperate and manipulative. At the same time, Ryan Reynolds was trying to act as if everything was normal. He kept making jokes in public, talking about his wife, and sharing funny stories. But behind the scenes, things were not looking good. The controversy was growing, and people were no longer laughing along with him. Blake Lively was also facing serious money problems because of the lawsuit. Justin Baldoni had filed a countersuit against her, asking for $400 million in damages. If she lost, she would have to pay huge legal fees. Even if she reached a settlement, her reputation would be damaged, and she might lose future movie roles and brand deals. But the biggest career at risk was Ryan Reynolds. Disney and Marvel were already unsure about making Deadpool 4, and this lawsuit was only making things worse. The more the controversy grew, the more Marvel executives started to question if Reynolds was still the right person to play Deadpool. What started as a legal battle had now turned into something much bigger. It was no longer just about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. It was about power, control, and how Hollywood really works. And in the middle of it all, Ryan Reynolds' career was in serious danger. Marvel Studios was struggling to make a final decision, but one thing was clear: the controversy surrounding Ryan Reynolds had become a serious problem. Rumors were spreading that Marvel was considering removing Reynolds from the role of Deadpool if the lawsuit continued to damage his public image. The studio had built its brand on being family-friendly and carefully managing its stars' reputations. While Reynolds had been a key part of Marvel's recent success,